Now we're going to work through patterns. So for those of you who know Chon-Ji, we're going to do Chon-Ji right now. Everyone can work through their own patterns. Once if you've got lots of patterns, maybe twice. If you've only got a couple of patterns, do each one 4 or 5 times to get that memory flowing through. We're going to work on Chon-Ji together today. Chon-Ji, of course, had 19 movements, separated into 2 similar parts, one to represent the heaven and the other the earth. So from our parallel ready stance, some of the fundamental things you want to watch out with Chon-Ji is when you turn, making sure that you're leaving the width of your stance. So if I'm starting this way, stepping towards the camera, I want to make sure I have the room for my hips in my walking stance. Also making sure that you're locking out that back leg and finishing your stance. When you're stepping forward, make sure that you're coming down, up, and dropping into your stance. Notice that my back heel, when I did that, didn't leave the floor. From here, I'm coming forward and going down, rising up, and then dropping down. It's quite common to see among juniors, people will do this. And the heel comes off the ground. The sine wave means your heel doesn't really need to come off the ground at all. It just pivot on the ball of the foot to change that angle to 25 degrees. And that's it. And that will happen quite naturally. You don't even have to think about that. That turn of the back heel there is going to happen very, very naturally. So your heel doesn't really come off the floor. The significant challenge on Chon-Ji is all of the backward step turns clockwise. So from here, where I'm going down, up as I come through my turn, and then dropping down into my walking stance. Again, I've got to make sure that I leave my shoulder width for those step turns. From here, down, up, down, and planting my feet at the moment of impact. Now, depending on your space, you may need to do the little adjustments that we've been doing. I'm going to have to do that here. So from here, Chon-Ji, parallel ready stance. We're going to pause after each movement and just think and check about what it does. So I'm doing a forearm low block here. Forearm low block comes downward onto the tool, whether it be the top of the opponent's forearm or their tibia, this way. Now from here, I've got my sine wave down, up, punching, middle punch. So it's shoulder height, center line. It's a middle punch, not a middle section punch. Because a middle punch is on my body, a middle section punch is on the opponent. This is my middle section, this is my high section, and this is my low section. When I'm operating alone, a middle punch is shoulder height, a low punch is tummy button height, and a high punch is eye level. With 2 people of different heights, it is possible, as you can imagine, to do a middle punch to the opponent's high section, if they're shorter than you. So here, my walking stance middle punch. Now my backward step turn clockwise. Relax my hands. Rise up and drop into my forearm low block. Planting into my stance with my shoulder width wide. Again, center line, making sure that that back heel doesn't come off the ground, giving myself my width. Dropping into my stance. Now remember your out curve line. So from here, as I rise up, my foot comes in halfway, I'll rise and drop into my stance. From here, my backward step turn clockwise, hands in front of chest, rising up as I come into my turn, and crossing as I rise up. So for most of my turn, my hands are just relaxed in front of me. As I rise up, I cross and block. My middle punch. Now we change to L stance. Crossing underneath. This time. Keep your elbows down when you cross. Don't cross like this. From here once more, here. So you're protecting your body. Check your width. Your front toe and your back heel are on the same line. With the angle of your heels, that means you're about 2.5 centimeters between your heels. Shoulder height here, half facing, not side on. Here, middle punch, down, up, down. Checking my L stance. Hands in front of chest, down, up, keeping my elbows down. Here we go, my L stance. Checking. Always check after you land, not as you land, because that'll create a bad habit. Keep your eyes up as you land. Another thing is when you adjust, always adjust the foot that just stepped. If I step too wide here, and then think, oh, that doesn't feel right, and move this foot, 2 things happen. 1, my body doesn't land where it should have landed. 2, I'm not going to get back to my spot. So always adjust the foot that just moved if I need to change my stance. Punch forward and back. Now again, in normal speed. And step forward to return. Now about movement 10, you will notice that I did a heel pivot here. That was a mistake, something that I need to work on. From here I always need to make sure I pivot on the balls of my feet. So be conscious of the mistakes that you make so you can try and correct them the second time round. Okay, go ahead, practice your patterns, and then come and watch the next video.